Hi, I'm Inez Lewis, and I'm a volunteer with hospice. I've been volunteering for 12 years. I became involved with Community Hospice one day when I went to Earth Day at Cedar Park, and I happened to see a booth. And since hospice came and took care of my husband, I figured it was time for me to give something back. So I signed up as a volunteer. And this was in 2006, because my husband died in February. So that's how I became involved with hospice. Well, I used community hospice when my husband had liver cancer. And I happened to be at the oncologist's office with him. And I was sitting there and I looked back and I saw this flyer there that said Community Hospice. So when the doctor told my husband he had 3 months left of his life, I told him, let's call hospice. At first he didn't want to face the fact that he was going to die. And I told him, I said, it's going to happen, so why not make it easier for you? And that's when we called hospice. He was only on hospice for maybe 2 weeks. And this was in February, and February was when he was diagnosed with liver cancer. And February 14th, as a matter of fact. And by the 28th, he was gone. Well, he was in, community hospice came in, and I didn't know what they were gonna do, but they helped him be pain-free, because he was suffering so much that, they tried the patch, they tried, and it just alleviated the pain just a little bit. And then when it got really bad, then they managed the pain to the point where he was not suffering. And I was ever thankful for that. I was really happy that community hospice was there, because I kept praying that he would pass, because I didn't want him to linger. And hospice helped me face the fact that it was going to happen, and there was nothing we could do. I went to a support group with hospice, and they helped me a lot. I was very angry. But then I found out that that's part of the procedure. And I tell some of these people that is one of the stages that you go through, And like I said, it doesn't get better, it just gets easier. I visited patients for the first home visits for the first 10 years. And then when I also did events during that time, and I also did hospice house. So I'm fully invested in this. I do events, in other words, I go out to health fairs, and I love letting people know that hospice is there should they need it. Because I love what I do. I continue to do it because I love it. I love meeting people that I would never have met if I hadn't been with hospice. So that's the staff, and coming here to hospice house. I always feel lost if I don't show up for hospice house. I feel like something is missing. It's important to the community because that's a service that everybody should know it's there to, and it's available to them, regardless of whether they can afford to pay for it or not. A lot of people think that it's just for cancer or it's just for one certain disease. And I tell them, no, it's for any terminal illness, and I've had some people here that I've let know about hospice. So I feel good about that, because the families have told me, this is a wonderful place to be. The nurses are great. The volunteers are great. So, what else can I say? Well, I'm happy that hospice has gotten to celebrate 40 years of being here, That's 40 years that people have gotten help. Families, the patients, the families know that they don't have to worry about their loved ones suffering, because that's what we do. They manage pain so that the patient is peaceful and pain-free. I'm Inez Lewis, and I'm a volunteer with hospice, and I'm very happy to celebrate with Community Hospice for 40 years.